Well, Jon Stevens is recognised as one of Australia's most talented rock musicians. He's had phenomenal success as a solo artist, knocking Michael Jackson off the charts in Australia, and as the lead singer of major rock acts Noiseworks, In Excess after the death of his friend Michael Hutchence, and the Dead Daisies. Today, Jon announces a brand new album called Starlight, and there's a brand new single out now from that too. Welcome, Jon. Nice to chat.
Hi, Sandy. Thanks. That was a serious intro.
Well, you're a serious performer. You certainly deserve it. Hey, Jon, I didn't know in reading your bio, I mean, I've grown up with you, but I certainly didn't know that you were New Zealand born and of Maori descent.
Yeah, my mother was Maori and my dad was from Glasgow in Scotland. So half and half. And, yeah, I was born and raised the youngest of 11 children and landed in Australia in early 1981, January 1981, actually.
What brought you here in the first place?
Well, you know, I mean, it's like most sort of, you know, young people from Australia and New Zealand, we have the travelling bug. We seem to want to travel the world, so I was no different to anybody else, and just wanted to get out of my small little town and experience life in the big wide world. And
I bet you're going to tell me next that a romance made you stay.
No, I had a couple of sisters living here, and a brother at the time was living here as well. So, you know, a lot of family, and the weather. You know, I just love the weather. I landed in Sydney, and it was a lot warmer than windy old Wellington.
I bet. I mean, you're probably best known for all the work you did out front of Noiseworks back in the mid-'80s, but I certainly remember you playing Judas in the Australian production of Jesus Christ Superstar. That was 92. That was an awesome production, and you just did fabulously then.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was a great role playing Judas alongside John Farnham and Kate Sobrano and John Waters. We had a fantastic time, and, you know, it still actually holds all the box office records for the entertainment centres around Australia, because it was the first time an arena version of a theatre production had ever been done.
It's such a powerful musical, Jesus Christ Superstar, as was Godspell too. Interesting that, I mean, those two were certainly my favourites in all that time. Nothing else seems to have been quite as impactful.
Yeah, well, because, you know, they were billed as rock operas, I suppose. It's like Tommy, and I mean, there were just a handful of, you know, those ones. Jesus Christ was the first of its kind, and it requires rock singers for the parts. And Harry and Miller back in '92, he assembled an amazing cast of, you know, artists who have careers, you know, and they were not theatre people. So no disrespect to theatre people, but, you know, to do an arena version of Superstar, they needed that, I guess, star power.
It absolutely required you to sing, didn't it? And talking about requiring you to sing, Michael Hutchence's death led you to front In Excess for a bit. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, he's, Michael had been passed for about 4 years by the time the band had sort of pulled themselves together enough to want to go out and play again. And, you know, I've been friends with them for many years, and of course Michael, and having been called to you know, do a gig with him here in Melbourne, actually. It was just going to be a one-off gig, just for fun. And it just turned into almost 4 years touring around the world. So, yeah, it was a great time. And, I mean, I still love that band, and I, you know, love their songs. Obviously, grew up listening to them as well as most of the world. But, yeah, it was cool. And you know, like anything, you sort of, you know, you do it after a while, and, you know, things happen, and
you move on. Absolutely. Were you surprised by the success of In Excess in the States?
No, not at all. They're one of the great rock and roll bands of all time, and you know, certainly one of the greatest to ever come out of Australia. I mean, AC/DC, In Excess. You know, there's a handful of bands, and they're right up there. And of course, Michael, you know, was just the most amazing frontman, still regarded as one of the great frontmen of all time. So, yeah.
You've been pretty busy lately, Jon. Last year, I believe you teamed up with Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, and you've been head down, bottom up writing and recording this brand new album. Fill us in on that.
Yeah, no, it was a great experience. Fantastic working with Dave. He's a fantastic guy and, an incredible creator. He's done, he's written some amazing songs with Annie Lennox, and, obviously he was the main songwriter, producer for them. And, so it was really cool. We hung out and wrote all these tunes, which has culminated in Starlight.
How did the two of you get together?
Through a friend of mine in London who, Mark Cowan was his name, and we were chatting about doing some shows in Europe, and I was saying, I'm going to make another record, and Dave Stewart's name got mentioned, and I said, I love Dave Stewart. He's amazing. And he says, I'm managing. And he goes, okay. Can you send him some stuff? Which he did, and then Dave heard my stuff and went, love it. And we met, and pretty much after the first martini, we were into it.
So it really is all about who you know, not what you know, huh?
Well, I'd worked with the Eurythmics in 1987. I mean, Noiseworks toured with the Eurythmics. It's one of our first tours, and toured all around Australia. And whilst Dave doesn't remember it or remember us, I remember him because we were young musicians, and what I remember most about them and him was that they were very, very nice to us and very gracious to us, which, at the time they were the biggest band in the world, the Eurythmics, and we were just their support band. And, it's always, you got to always remember on the way up, as you do on the way down, who's who in the zoo and who was nice and who wasn't, and that's what sticks with you mainly. And he was one of those guys that was really nice to us, and he doesn't remember it, but I never forgot it, and hence, I guess all these years later, us working together, because if he wasn't nice to us back then, there's no way in the world I'd work with him regardless. Yeah.
So you've written and recorded this new album called Starlight.
Yeah, we have, and it's. I must say it's my best work. What can I say? I got.
What do you reckon? I've listened to the single "Hold On," and it's pretty good. But why do you claim it to be your best work to date?
Because everything is like having a new child. Everything is fresh and exciting. Certainly not taking anything back from the stuff I did 30 years ago. But it's kind of like that was great at the time. Everything, I think, after all this long, everything you do now is like, is the best foot forward with all the experience and working with, people of similar experience and just the free flow of creating with this record. It was so easy to write and record with Dave. It was actually quite a revelation. There was none of that back and forth sort of any kind of egos or any kind of sort of butting heads on things. It was like we just knew what worked and what didn't, and just created accordingly. And it's more from the heart. Things just fell out. I mean, we would sit and play guitars and not sing, and we would never procrastinate on anything more than 15 minutes. If it didn't last that long, then it didn't last. We moved straight on without even blinking.
So that they say when it's right, it's easy, and when it's easy, it's right, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got a couple of special guest artists on this album. Tell us who you've got and why and how that came about.
Well, firstly, Vanessa Amorosi, who is one of the great singers out of Australia and one of the great, vocalists in the world. She's on it. We did a duet on a song called Something About You. And, it's great to have her singing on it and be hanging out with her again. She's an amazing talent. I love her to bits. And, she's finishing up her album and, I sort of was involved in helping her with that to a degree as well. So, great to have Vanessa on it. Also, actually on the single Hold On, Richie Zambora is playing a little bit of guitar, which actually I forgot to tell anybody. Hey, you just reminded me.
Good.
I don't even think I put in the credits. But Richie came in with Orianthi one night and sort of just hung out and I got him to play on Hold On, which is a single. So him and I played guitars on it, and Dave and Orianthi played on another song called Guilty, No, that's not called Kill. Yeah, it's called. Yeah. Devil in My Heart is called. Devil in My Heart. That's what I actually played on. And Ringo Starr played drums on a track called One Way Street, which is yeah.
Amazing.
This is my favourite. That's my favourite song, actually. Yeah.
Tell us the story around getting Ringo to join in on it.
You know, we were in the middle of the sessions with Dave, and Dave said, "Oh, come over for dinner tonight at my house." I said, "Oh, okay, cool." And we went over to his house, and he said, "Oh, I got some friends coming over." Didn't say who. And through the door walks Ringo and his wife, Barbara Bach, and yeah, we had dinner together, just hung out, told stories, pulled out the guitars, and sang a few songs, and you know, just I guess became mates. You know, Dave and him were good mates, and I guess you know, he's just comfortable in the home environment. So yeah, we just sort of hung out and became friends, and weeks later or whatever, we're doing One Way Street, and I said, Dave, there's people songs for Ringo to play on. I'd love to get him to play drums. And he said, oh, yeah, let's ask him. So, yeah, he just asked him, and Ringo's comment was, nobody ever asked me to play drums. And it was like, you know, that day, it was like, wow, that's amazing. Because I guess everyone's so scared asking if it was Ringo. But and I would have been exactly the same if I hadn't spent, you know, a night just hanging out, you know, in, I guess, a home environment. Because obviously when you meet somebody famous when you're out and about, you know, everyone's kind of a bit on edge, you know, because like, just what's that, you know, people are coming at you every which direction. So, you know, meeting him in that environment, I think, really helped to sort of seal that deal, I suppose. He had to listen to the song. I was like, if you don't like the song, why would you play on it? So he loved the song and really wanted to play on it. So
that's awesome. You didn't even have to pay him for his time.
No, what do you pay Ringo? you don't. He does it because he wants to.
That's fantastic. Oh, well done. Look forward to hearing the whole album. Where are we going to hear the single?
The single's actually out today, and it'll be hitting all the online, you know, the iTunes and I guess, you know, my Facebook and all that stuff. It will be on there. There's a video to go with it, which we made out in the Mojave Desert. It's a pretty action-packed video for Hold On, and it's funny, you just remind, I forgot. That's really bad of me, isn't it? I forgot that Richie Zambora played some guitar on Hold On. And I don't think I put that in the credits either.
No, that's not listed anywhere.
Naughty
well,
John.
You can still change that.
Anyway.
How do you pace yourself, John? I mean, you're still up to living the life of the rock and roller, and the voice is still just as good, if not better, than it's always been. But how do you? I mean, I talk to a lot of I hate to say aging rock stars, but you know what I mean. And they're like, you know, we drink tea in the dressing room now. We have to have a nana nap in the afternoon. Are you already feeling?
No, well, you know, they're just lightweights. What can I say? No, look, you know, I live a pretty healthy life for me, you know, but I work my butt off. I work, keep long hours and stay up late. I'm always we play late, so you got to acclimatise your body to whatever your environment is when you're on the road. You know, that's what I do. You know, so you know, have a few drinks. You know, we'll do what normal. Just be happy. If you're happy and you're, you know, I mean, of course I'm committed to what I do. That goes without saying. But if you're happy doing it, it's a joy. And music is a joy. And I always say I'm in the giving business, not the music business. I'm in the giving business because you give of yourself. You give the music and the performance and live performance. You're giving everything you got to people in front of you. So it's like, you know, you're just sharing that energy and sharing that moment in time, because live music is a moment in time. It's a memory that, you know, is not on repeat. It's that moment, so you enjoy every moment.
Are you taking to the road with the new album?
Absolutely. It's what it's all about, playing.
So we'll see you right around the country.
Oh, of course.
We look forward to that. Excellent.
Yeah.
Jon Stevens, lovely chatting with you this morning.
You too.
All the very, very best to you. We'll
Thanks,
take a listen to Hold On and point everybody to it. Good luck with the new album, and we'll catch you on the road.
Thanks a lot, Sandy. All the best.
All the
Cheers.
best. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Jon.